Bliss, love, and lavender family. It's Anubia K. Sade here, and I'm coming to you with a video that was highly requested. In this video, you're going to learn 5 essential skills to identify body language in communication. Now, this can affect the way you sell, what you sell, how much you sell, or if you're not in sales, this can affect your personal and professional relationships. See, communication is one of the most slept on skills. It's so interesting that most people don't intentionally work on their communication skills. So today, we're going to talk about non-verbal communication because if you get these right, you will simultaneously increase your level of communication, the quality of your communication, and your ability to listen and see the unshown and hear the unspoken and really just understand on deeper levels where most people will be maybe confused. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about mastering sales with feminine emotional intelligence. Now, these 5 body language secrets are going to help you close more deals if you are in sales. And if you're not in sales, it's going to overall help the development of your communication skills. So, feminine emotional intelligence, what I call FEQ, is the ability to intuitively connect, to empathize, and to create trust through emotional awareness and intentional connection. So research actually shows that 55% of communication is nonverbal. 55% of communication is nonverbal. 38, okay, so that's 55. That's more than half. Okay, so we're gonna call it about half, right? 55% of communication is nonverbal. 38% is tone of voice. Okay, that's another pretty nice chunk. It's almost 40%. And only 7% is actually words. So 55% of communication is nonverbal. 38% of communication is tonality. And then 7% is the words. Isn't that interesting? So understanding body language is not just about observing, it's about responding in a way that resonates on an emotional level. We are emotional beings, we are emotional creatures. So this is where FEQ, feminine emotional intelligence, is going to transform a simple interaction into a meaningful high value connection because we like high value connections, right? We need high value connections. This is how we grow professionally. This is how we grow personally. And this is how we ensure that we have a friendship circle full of quality. This is how we ensure that we are always being valuable assets. So here's 5 actionable tips to elevate your sales game, okay, by mastering body languages through the lens of FEQ. Excuse the background noise if you hear any. I'm in the lobby in Dubai, and the light in here was great. So I said, okay, Apple, you have the noise cancellation feature, right? Well, let's get into it. Let's see. So let's talk about it. Tip 1, the 5 tips. Okay, so tip 1, eye direction and connection. This is so deep. Follow me real quick as I walk you through something that you've been paying attention to all your life, but you never understood or could articulate how you were able to really understand body language, but you just kind of knew that you knew without knowing how you knew. So here's how to observe eye direction and connection. Now, eyes downward. When you're talking to a person and you sense that their eyes are going downward, you see that their eyes are going downward. They continue to result into default into their eyes looking down. What they're doing is they're processing emotions. They may be feeling a little uncertain, or they may just be introspecting. So what you want to do in this moment, you want to use empathetic language here. So this sounds like mothering language. If you are familiar with the feminine archetypes, I have a training and I'll link it below. This is where you're going to incorporate mothering language with the mothering tonality, the mothering language, and the mothering body language. Eyes upward is optimism, or just like visualizing the possibilities. Like this is when a person is more like in their third eye, or they're in their visualizing dreamy brain. They're doing a lot of looking upward. What you want to do here is encourage positive outcomes by asking future focused questions. So if a person is obviously looking up into the future and looking up, and in their mind they're thinking about it. Now this can be after you just pitched your offer. This could be while you're in the middle of a sales transaction. This could just you be having a conversation with someone and you really, 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 really want them to understand your point and your perspective. This is them optimistically thinking. So what you want to do is you want to help them. Conversation is so collaborative. And when you understand that conversation is collaborative, you're able to support the person the way they need it. So you want to encourage positive outcomes by asking future focused questions. So a person is looking upward and we're having a conversation. Let's say I sell iPhone cases. Okay, let's give an example. And they're like looking upward and I'm talking to them, but their eyes keeps wandering optimistically, right? I would ask them like, are you traveling? Are you going anywhere? You getting ready to do some like fun or wild activities? What you got going on? Why you need this case for real? Right? This is very inquisitive, very optimistic, very fun, very like detached and a little unserious, but it gets them to open up about what they're thinking in their mind. They can now share that information with you. And guess what you do as someone who is selling and simply guiding this person to a buying decision? Guess what you're going to do? You're going to take that information that they provide to you and you're going to help them make their buying decision with the information that they provided. So you going ATV in Jamaica. Hold on, honey. Okay, you going ATV in? I know that's right. So yeah, what kind of case you got right now for that? Oh my, honey, what are you doing with that? What you think that's going to survive Jamaica? So this feels more personable than look at this case. It's this feature and it's that feature and it's this and it just came out. Nobody cares about that. They're about to go to Jamaica. They don't care about the features. They care about the rice and peas they're gonna have, the authentic food they're gonna eat, and the sun that's gonna beam on them. They are gonna have a lot of fun and they can be a little clumsy sometimes, so they need a better case. Connection and really observing and paying attention to the eyes can really help you ask the right questions so that way a person can connect with you deeper. Like people buy and connect with and communicate with people that they feel like feels them, understands them. So talk about things that are important to that person, right? And you can do this by asking future focused questions if their eyes are upward. Okay. So now let's talk about left and right. Now, naturally, if you were to look to your left right now, we're going to do a quick exercise. So if you were to look to your left, like right now, does it feel like you're looking in the past or the future? Just naturally do it. Does it feel like you're feeling like past energy, past decisions, like energetically? Or does it feel like future? Does it feel like optimistic energy? Does it feel like, okay, forward? If you feel the left, and this is the left side of me right now, the left side energy is like, it's given past, it's given old thoughts, it's given what I just had for lunch. You guessed right. The left wandering of the eyes is reflecting on past experiences. Isn't that interesting that you can like feel the energy of it? I discovered this like years ago and it has been totally life-changing for me. Could you imagine now looking into someone's eyes and like being able to read everything that they're thinking about? Well, this is a strength and this is a skill, and this can help propel you forward in every single conversation. This is that intelligence. This is the intelligence that I'm talking about. So, when the eyes are wandering left, they are reflecting on past experiences. So, what you want to do, because you are equipped, you're paying attention to the body language, you are aware of exactly what to feed this person. What you want to do is you want to reference a customer's past success or experiences right at the moment, right when you see the eye left, like right when you see the left in the eye and the energy moving towards the past experiences. It's your time to shine. Talk about past experiences. Make it relevant to the conversation and make it relevant to them and what's important to them and what they value. So eyes to the left, past experiences. Again, this can be also applied in personal settings as well. You know what? I remember I once had this time, like, let's take for an example, you're talking with someone and they feel their eyes is wandering to the left when you bring up, let's say, something that you want and you desire. What you can say is, let's take for an example, let me make something up. So, oh yeah, you know what? I want this. And a person's eyes start wandering to the left. You can say, I remember it was this one time I wanted this thing, right? And I went out to go get it. And when I went out to go get it, I did more than I did more than achieve. I actually developed on a deeper level. And so when I want things, I make sure I get them. And it feels good to me. And it proves to me that I can confide in myself. So maybe you're motivating a family member and their eyes is looking to the left if you're talking about them making a change in their life. Using that story, it's going to relate to them on such deep levels. Okay? Eyes to the left, that's the past. You want to use a reference story that's relevant to the situation. Now, eyes to the right. Eyes to the right means future focused, intentional thinking and thought. So when a person is thinking, right, the body language is going to the eyes is going to the right. The person is thinking about the future. And let's go ahead on and lean into that vision. We're going to get into some vision-based selling. Like, you know what? Imagine yourself like benefiting in this way. Or what does life look like 6 months after this product or after this service? What could this look like for you? Now, when you put this in your home, where were you like, you're gonna put it here? Like, would you put it in your office? Where would you put it? Again, connection. You are speaking their language, and they probably feel like, how she know? How she know what I'm thinking about? Eye contact is gonna give it away every single time. Now, direct eye contact indicates trust building or evaluating competency. What you want to do is you want to use this moment to deliver confidently. And you want to make confident, fact-based points. This is when you are in those boardrooms, but this is when you are on a date and it gets really serious. This is when you have a moment to stand on a platform and speak your truth, talk about your brand, talk about your product, talk about your service. Direct eye contact means that a person is indicating whether or not they can trust you or evaluating exactly how competent you are. So use this time to stand bold, posture up, deliver with confidence, and use fact-based points. Okay, so from an F.E.Q, a feminine emotional intelligence perspective, some actionable insight is you want to match your tone and pacing to where their eyes suggest their thoughts are leading. Studies show that 43% of people are more likely to buy from someone they feel understood their needs emotionally. Emotionally, emotionally, emotionally. Like, do you see how important emotions are? It's our field. It's what separates us from AI. No offense, I love AI, especially my girl Chastity. So, emotions is what differentiates stale, bland, underwhelming conversations from stellar, valuable, impactful, enthusiastic conversations that lead to favorable outcomes. So that was tip one. That was pretty full. But again, eyes are going to tell everything every time. Tip two, mirroring the body language. We're not just going to know these things, we're going to use the body language to mirror the body language. Everything that we observe, we're going to use that to connect. When someone feels connection and feels like they're not being weird, they are more likely to not be weird. The moment you make someone very comfortable, they feel like they can confide in you. And again, you will have, you will get, you will sell, you will close, you will communicate your favorable outcome every single time. So tip two, mirroring the body language. So what is this? This is, listen to me, softly, very softly, mimicking the client, the customer, the person's posture, gesture, and tone, so that way you can build rapport. So if they lean in, you lean in a little, you lean in too, just a little bit, just softly. If they nod occasionally to show the agreement. If they cross their arms, consider addressing any underlining hesitations a little indirectly, very softly. Now, here's some feminine EQ insight. So, mirroring signals emotional safety and relatability. The key is softly doing it. Overdoing it can feel very manipulative. Studies actually show that mimicking body language increases persuasion by 20%. That's a big percent. 20 is a big percent. It's large mix, right? So when you mimic softly, when you mimic someone's body language, it increases your ability to persuade them. And persuasion isn't a bad thing. Persuasion is simply you owning your confidence, coming across as competent in helping a person and supporting a person to get to the next stage, level, sale, conversation, goal, ascension, whatever it is relevant in that moment. So tip two, mirror the body language. Tip three, hand gestures. Now, I am definitely, as you probably know, I was raised in New York. We do a lot of this. It does help articulation. So hand gestures and placement can also help you understand and observe where a person is on an energetic level when they're talking to you or you're talking to them. Now, here's what to observe. Open palms. And I actually learned this in security like years ago. Open palms. This indicates trust and honesty. And what you're going to do is you're going to respond with transparency in your pitch or your proposal or the ending of your conversation or during your conversation. You're going to respond with transparency. Now, this allows that connection because a person is showing you subliminally, they're showing you, I can trust this person. you know, I feel like this person can be honest. Now, what happens if hands is on the face? Hands near the face reflects skepticism or deep thinking. Now, what you want to do is, since you are picking this up and you are observing this, is you want to clarify. You want to use clarifying questions like, what's on your mind? Hi, baby. So cute. You want to use clarifying questions. What's on your mind? Hmm. Tell me what are your thoughts, right? Open-ended questions at that. Now, if you see fidgeting, a lot of fidgeting, or the leg shaking, this suggests nervousness or a little bit of disengagement. What you want to do is you want to shift the conversations, focus to something a little bit more relatable. Person's getting bored, nervous, anxious, or just like turned off, disengaged. What you want to do is you want to shift the conversation's focus to something that's more relatable. Now, from a feminine, emotional, intelligent perspective, you want to use purposeful, open-handed gestures to create trust and convey confidence in your proposal, in your conversation, in your pitch. Now, here's also a quick tip. You want to avoid pointing directly to a person or having closed fists. This automatically comes off as aggressive or defensive in like any culture, any culture. In some cultures more than others, but pointing directly or closing fists, very defensive. I'll actually give you a story, quick story. I was in old Dubai where I was going to a souk, yeah, I say a souk, which is pretty much like an outlet where there are a bunch of Egyptian goods and goods from around the world, India, Pakistan, all that. And there was a salesman who he was really desiring me to come to a store so he can sell me something. Now I was like, okay, I'm having a conversation with someone. A young lady came from the top of the street, from her store to the top of the street to bring customers into her store. And so as soon as I got out of my Uber, she's like, Sister, come to me. She was from, I believe, West Africa, Nigeria. Sister, come to my store. Sister, come, sister, come, sister, come, sister, come. Right? I'm like, okay, sister. I'm coming. I follow you. Let's go. Right. So we're walking and talking, and then the man, he said, trying to bring me in very aggressive. And I was like, I was really turned off. I was like, I may come back. I go for my sister. I go to my sister. So I follow my sister. And then I come out the store. He then walks up to me and points in my face. You said you were coming back to buy my stuff. I said, oh my goodness. I said, that was such a turnoff. I was very defensive, and I was very insulted in so many ways because pointing at a person is so rude. Now, if you find yourself doing that often, something that you can do to replace pointing is maybe using a full hand and doing something like this. Like if you just have this really strong habit of pointing, use an open hand, something along these lines. Tip 4, understanding posture. So here's what to observe. Leaning forward, that's interest, that's engagement. This is time to seal the deal. Like if you've had conversation and you're building rapport and you're getting to a point where this person's like leaning forward, let's go ahead on and propose. Let's go ahead on and seal the deal. This person is showing you interest, like they want to lean into whatever it is that you have to sell, or they're leaning into your ideal, your concept, your philosophy. They're leaning inward. They're engaged. They're intrigued. That's still the deal. It's time. Now, if a person is leaning back, they're feeling skepticism or discomfort. What you want to do is you want to reframe the conversation with reassurance, or here's the time to tell a success story to make that person more comfortable. Now, if you see crossed legs, crossed arms, this signals potential resistance. You want to do is you want to use storytelling to re-engage on an emotional level. Now, during the conversation, you have had to have some form of rapport on what's valuable to them, what's important to them, maybe what's even painful for them. You want to bring that up in a story. So that way you can be able to gain that emotional reconnection back. Like the key to selling, the key to conversation is emotion. And if conversation leading up to this point still had no emotional connection, flair, spark, interest, you don't get the pass. You don't get the green light to sell. And if you think of things in that way, it almost inspires you so much to connect emotionally. Like, let that be law. Like, connect emotionally first. So, there's an incredible, like, for those of you out there who maybe have children, there's an incredible technique where before you discipline your child or before you come to your child about grades in school, or it's time to sit down and talk about something not so fun, connect with them emotionally. And oftentimes that's physical touch, like giving them a hug or giving them a kiss. Emotion and emotional connection is so disarming. It disarms. And this is the mothering energy that's in the feminine archetype, the mother feminine archetype. And again, I'll link this somewhere in the video. So let's go to tip 5. Okay. Feminine, okay, so from a feminine emotional perspective, when you match the posture, moments of connection, but you maintain open, grounded. Like if they go high, you're not going really high. You're meeting them where they are, but you're staying soft. And you stay grounded in confidence and approachability. You'll be able to connect every single time. Tip 5, micro expression and facial cues. Oh my goodness. These are, in my opinion, like the most clear, evident giveaways. Micro expression and facial cues. Like, what? Here's what to observe. Raise eyebrows. What does this mean? Curiosity or surprise. What you want to do is, in this moment, you want to capitalize on this moment by addressing their intrigue. And I tend to be a very charismatic, engaging, outgoing Aquarius. So I would ask them, what you thinking about? What's your questions? And when you come from a place of curiosity and you come off with the energy of the sage and the counselor, you're able to really say anything to help this person open up without them feeling like you're trying to be in their business or you're overstepping your boundaries. In these grounded principles and these grounded tips, I have never had anyone ever tell me I'm crossing the line because I come off confident, competent, and I am soft with my approach. Hint, hint, feminine emotional intelligence. So raise eyebrows, curiosity. What you want to do is you want to capitalize on this moment by addressing their intrigue. Okay. Tight lips, doubt, or hesitation. Someone has the tight lips. You want to ask, does this make sense so far? What's the most clear thing for you? Now, this is going to uncover any concerns. I think I have to sneeze. So, does this make sense so far? Uncover any concerns. Now, a very soft smirk or smile coming from their sides, this means that they're warming up. You're going to use this opportunity to emotionally anchor your offer. This is the green light. That smile, that smirk, green light. Think of it as like the ultimate green light. The nodding of the head and the smile, green light, go. Pitch, propose, connect. Whatever it is that you're looking to do in this conversation, green light, go. So, from a feminine emotional intelligence standpoint, facial expressions often reveal what words cannot. So, when you pick up on a shift, you want to pause and adapt your approach. The core and the base of femininity is the ability to adapt, maneuver fluidly and flexibly. So, shift, pause, adapt at any moment. And you have all of these amazing cues now and these tips now where you can be able to do that with such ease that the person's going to feel like, oh, we're flowing. We're dancing together. Like this is a rhythm. Even if it starts off rocky, knowing this and using all of these techniques is going to allow you to get in a rhythm. And then you can go places because the goal of conversations is to convert, to go somewhere. Now, that somewhere can be to a sale, that somewhere can be to understanding, that somewhere can be to an ideal, but you're converting and you're conversing, and it's a movement happening. So highly requested. This video was so highly requested, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do it today. Very, very perfect day after spending a lot of hours in the mall where I got sold to a lot, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I want to help. I want to help a lot of people with sales because sales is not about, hey, come here, or hey, do you need help? Sales is about emotional connection and helping a person and assisting a person get to a buying decision. You're not persuading on something that's not good for them. You're simply helping a person who knew that they wanted to purchase something gain clarity of their desires to ensure that that product or that service is just right for them and get them to that desire. That's sales. We as women, what we do, we go into Sephora, we buy makeup because it's going to give us a desire of what? More beauty, more beauty. So when we're in there, we're not necessarily thinking of the features or thinking of the ingredients. Well, some of us, I'm plant-based, thinking of the ingredients or thinking about how it was manufactured. We're thinking about, okay, is this blush going to give me that romantic Valentine's Day vibe when the sun goes down? Because it's this essence I want to just put on. It's this feel I want to just get. That's what we care about. That's what we care about. So Harvard Business Review found that people who can read micro expressions correctly are 25% more likely to close high ticket sales, high stake deals, high level money, commission deals, products, services. And here's another thing. As much as this professional way of thinking can benefit you in work and in business, it can also benefit you in your personal life, romantically, in your friend group, and even in your family. So I want to just remind you that feminine emotional intelligence with body language is not just reading. It's not just like a reading skill. It's a superpower. So I want to encourage you, practice these tips in your next interaction. And if you want to dive in a little bit deeper and really spruce up your communication, click the link wherever I'm going to place it in the description. Yes, in the description. And schedule a call with me. I look forward to hearing. Okay, so salespeople with high levels of emotional intelligence outperform their peers by over 50% in their revenue. This was so fun. If you found value in this video, go ahead on and like it, comment. If you comment, like, comment, share, all the YouTube things. Give this video a like. Go ahead on and, mention what was the most valuable to you in the comment section and share this video with someone who's in sales or someone who has been actively working on their communication skills. This is a game changer. All right. Talk soon.